Dear Diary, what if Michael Myers stepped to downtune brutality instead of synth minimalism?
Oh my god, that goes so hard. Today, we're turning Halloween kills into a Thall nightmare. For this rescore, I'm going to focus on the later part of the scene where the action really begins. So it kind of has 4 parts. It starts inside the house with the firefighters and Michael Myers going out of the house. So this scene, that. Then you have the Michael Myers fire epic reveal. I mean, look at that. Then you have the beginning of the massacre of the firefighters. So all of that. And we're gonna end with the final kill with the saw, which is really gruesome. As you might have seen, I started setting the scene with some markers up there to try to synchronize some scene with the tempo. And I also used the stem splitter in Logic to try to isolate the voices and the sound effects from the original music as much as possible. This is the original scene. And here's what the stem splitter allowed me to isolate. It's not perfect, but it's really good enough for what we're doing today. And then I started laying some nasty Thall riffs on top of the scenes. For that, I'm using my Schecter Sunset Extreme 7th string. It's tuned to drop G sharp. But Thomas, it's not low enough for Thall. I know. So I'm using Archetype Gojira X and we're using the transpose function to put it to drop E. Yeah. While I'm listening to Thall, I feel like I'm listening to an horror movie. The riffs really tell a story with all the unusual ways you can use the guitar and all the sounds you can make with it. I'm going to use some chugging, dissonant chord voicings, whammy bends, or also pick scrapes. Oh yeah, and probably some pinch harmonic as well. So there is this first big riff when Michael gets out of the house. Then we're gonna need the rhythmic foundation for that riff. So here's the bass and the drum part. And that's a cool riff, but we're gonna need a bit more of Thall dirtiness. So in Archetype Gojira, I'm going to activate the wow pedal, and I automated it on my tracks, so now the riff sounds like that. Then there is this scene where Michael gets down the stairs, and you know the firefighters are not gonna have a good time at all. And here's the bass and drum part for that riff. So for this scene, I really wanted to keep the sound of the saw at the beginning, because I feel it's really important for the storytelling. Then, since the music stopped right there, I wanted to keep playing with some contrast, so I kept a guitar in mono and also edited some part in stereo. So for the center part, I added a really small reverb just to create some claustrophobic context in the middle somehow. And with that reverb, it feels a bit more like a real guitar cab in a room instead of being straight in your face. And then there's the part when I created some stereo contrast on the guitar riff, and I tried mimicking what was happening on the screen with the Michael Myers coming to the firefighters and the firefighters' expressions. So if you listen to just the guitars, it sounds like that. and a big pick scrape at the end. As you can see, I also did a bit of automation and there's some rest of some previous editing with the wow pedal. Then we arrive at the Firefighter Massacre scene. There I really wanted a really big riff as well. I found some that were kinda cool. But I wanted some kind of recall of the first riff I showed you. What I did is that I took the same riff and edited it heavily so it sounds like the same, but not the same arrangement of the riff. So it sounds kind of the same, but not really at the same time. You see what I mean? Also added some glitches. And it kinda matched Michael hitting the firefighter. And before the ending of the scene, I wanted to create some suspense while Michael suspended his victim in the air. So I recorded this. With that bass and drum part. For the processing here, I just gave it some reverb, just to add some ambient vibe to the guitars. And as you noticed, I automated the mix knob, so the reverb cuts really short at the last harmonic. Then for the final scene, we are going to need a really low breakdown. But Thomas, drop E is not low enough for Thall breakdowns. I know, and since it's really the full breakdown massacre scene, I'm going to need a really nasty downtune as guitar. So let me use Wham, which is a whammy plugin, and I'm going to downtune this already low E to C. Let's add some natural harmonics to that, and here's the riff. And the bass and drum part to go with it. Those are cool riffs, but one important thing with Thall is the production layers you can add to the riffs. So I'm adding a piano under that breakdown. I started from the Consagrant preset in Logic. We're going to play some tritone, which is the devil interval in music. But it safely sounds like that. Then let's add some funeral vibes for those firefighters. So there is this church organ sound in Alchemy, and I'm going to use it to really amplify the dissonance of the tritone from the piano. So with the piano, they both sounds like that. And since that's the final scene, I feel like I really have to lay a bit more on the breakdown trope. I'm going to add a snare bomb to the drum. We are missing one small element to blend with the church funeral thing. I found this chorus sound in Logic. And they're going to play the same tritones as the piano. I really enjoy Michael throwing the pickaxe in the grass like, okay, you're next. So let's hear all of our layers together. Oh my god, that goes so hard. Woo! Well, that's really adding a lot to the riff. I have some idea for some ambient guitar for the beginning, so let's record those right now. I feel at the beginning I'm missing one more layer of dark ambient synth stuff, so I've created this patch with my Minifreak. Here are the settings if you're interested. It's really some simple saw waves with some LFO modulation. I like to record something really dissonant, and I think I'm going to deactivate the reverb from my Minifreak, that way I can really control what I want. I'm just having the plugin to show you what I did, but I'm really recording the output of the actual synth.
Grab my hand!
Let's try roam for the reverb. And let's automate the mix knob so we cut everything when the drums comes in. It's not super loud, it's really there to add some ambient layer and depth to the scene. Now let's go back to the massacre scene to see if what we did really flow together. Well, that's way more brutal than the original. I'll be mixing this and adding some extra bells and whistle. You can catch the full Rescore scene right here. Smash that like button, subscribe for more horror Rescore and production breakdowns. And if you want your tracks mixed with this intensity, hit up tbsounds.com. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time.